Hey there, today we're making turmeric treats that are low in sugar. So if you have an equine or pretty much any farm animal that you like to give treats to that also has some inflammation or lameness, these are going to be great treats that you can give to pretty much all of them. So here are the ingredients I like to use. I start off with some pellets. These happen to be Timothy pellets. I've used Teff pellets in the past, but whatever low sugar pellets you might have. The main ingredient, of course, is turmeric, and that's this bright orange stuff here. It is a spice. I buy it in the 1 pound package or bulk packages when I can find it, and I will link that below. I like to add a little bit of cinnamon, a zucchini, a carrot, and a little bit of applesauce. I use an inexpensive food processor that I happened to get for a couple of dollars at the thrift store, just because this is pretty tough on the blades and the machine itself. So just wanted to give you the heads up that you might want to use something that you're willing to break. Alright, first thing we will do, just with the regular old S blade in your food processor, you're going to add your pellets. Then we're going to add our zucchini and carrots. I kind of just roughly chop these. Next up is our turmeric, the most important ingredient if we're looking to help with some inflammation. We're going to use 3/4 cup of turmeric, and I just want to give you the heads up, turmeric does stain, so if you're worried about that, you'll want to protect your work surface and your clothes. And like I said, using the as backup or cheaper food processor in case it stains that too might be called for. So 3/4 cup, that is the equivalent of 12 tablespoons. And that'll be important when we're figuring out our dosage per treat. We're going to use our cinnamon. It's just going to be something to make the treats a little bit tastier. And cinnamon is also a sugar stabilizer. So for our animals that have sugar sensitivities, this is nice to add. So 1 to 2 tablespoons will be enough. Next, I'm going to add about 1/2 cup of unsweetened applesauce. This is some applesauce I made from our own trees. You could use store-bought, just make sure it's unsweetened. And if you have super sensitive animals, you could skip this step and just use water. Then we'll place the lid on and combine these really well until it's almost like a dough. So a couple of really important ingredients I almost left out are that we need to add a fat and we need to add black pepper. I'm going to use corn oil today, just 1/4 cup in here. You could use something like coconut oil, and then fresh ground pepper if you have it. Otherwise, just use regular ground pepper. I'm going to use my also thrift store coffee grinder to grind up some pepper to put in here, about 1.5 tablespoons. And if it feels a little dry, like I said, we want it like a dough so that we can make little treat balls out of them. You can add a little bit of water, just do a little bit at a time. So in order to portion these out, the easiest way I have found is to weigh it. So I just get a nice big bowl and zero out my scale, and I put it on grams, and then I just dump my contents in there and get a total. Total weight is 1342 grams. We need to divide that by 72. We want 72 treats because potentially each one of those will have 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric. So we started out the recipe with 12 tablespoons of turmeric. That's 72 1/2 teaspoons, and that's what we want for each treat. So no matter what this number ends up being in your recipe, so maybe your zucchini smaller or your pellets way lighter, you want to take this number, divide it by 72, and then we're going to make 72 treats. So each treat will weigh 18 grams. So basically I just turn my scale on grab some of the dough, squeeze it together, and come up with 18 grams. Form it into a little ball. And then that's my treat. It just gets put on the parchment paper, and I just keep going. All right, we got 72 treats, and into the freezer they go.